there. Welcome. I'm Danielle Ford, and this is another episode of Leading Las Vegas. And you guys, if you don't know my backstory a little bit, I was born and raised here in Las Vegas. My nickname is Danny. A lot of my high school friends and my family call me Danny. So if you feel more comfortable, just go ahead and call me Danny Vegas. Okay, just kidding. This is Danny Vegas.
I'm Danny Vegas.
In person.
Yes.
And he's my guest today.
Well, I'm extremely honored to be on the Danielle Ford show. It's taken me 5 years to get on the Danielle Ford show.
Thank you so much for jumping in here. I have known Danny for a while. I think we both kind of follow each other on social media channels and like to keep up on what each other are doing. But one of the things I love about Danny, and the reason why I wanted to bring him on, is to talk about the evolution of marketing. See, Danny has been doing marketing for a long time, much longer than I have. And what we were kind of talking about beforehand is that there are a lot of fundamentals and a lot of things that change. So
That's right.
I'd love to get your perspective on that as somebody who's been in Las Vegas doing this for so long.
Well, here's the deal, Danielle, and I've always loved your stuff, even before we met. You know, I used to see you on doing social media stuff, and I'm like, wow, that gal really is doing it right. But here's what I've kind of seen over the last 10, maybe even 20 years. I do feel that social media is probably the greatest invention besides the internet itself.
Right.
I really do. And I'll tell you why. Because it is the great equalizer. Okay? Danielle Ford, if you were born in the 60s and you were doing business in the 80s, how does Danielle Ford get to be a household name?
Absolutely.
You can't. That's unless you can, breathe fire and show up on Ripley's Believe It or Not show. No one knows of Danielle Ford.
Right.
And the cool thing about social media, and I tell small businesses all the time, there's nothing that Coca-Cola, Federal Express, UPS, there's nothing these monster companies can do on social media that you can't do.
Right.
They may have someone doing it for them, and they may be experts, but as far as posting stuff, creating good content, and distributing it through a social media platform, you can do the exact same thing. And I will tell you, I think, in all honesty, a Danielle Ford, a Danny Vegas, without social media, I'm working at the counter at 7-Eleven, doing Slurpees.
It's interesting that you said that social media is probably the best advancement, because I remember even like kind of in my childhood, because I kind of grew up with this, but I didn't. I wasn't like a kid with the iPhone.
Right.
I had to learn it still as like a teenager, young adult. But I just remember like my parents and like people of that generation saying that, oh, social media is a fad. I can't wait till like kids stop doing this social media thing. And I'm like here, like, this is my life now. This is like how I communicate.
That's right. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
I could talk a lot. You got to vote me off the island.
You're fine.
I feel, in all honesty, the reason why social media has done what it has done, because I think it tapped into something that was already there, that human beings are just animals, but we are extremely social animals. If you study human beings, I'm a sociologist guy. If you study how human beings become what they become, they are extremely social. And I think social media just tapped into something that we had within us. We want to be as social as humanly possible. And the only way you can stop humans from being social is literally
away all connection.
You just got to take away. You got to take things away. You literally have to take away rights. So you have to put them in prison. You have to be, I'm not going to get political here, but you have to be a government that is totalitarian. What's that word? I can't even spell it, so don't worry about it. But you literally have to stop human beings by force for them not to be social. And I think social media just tapped into something that was already there.
I absolutely agree with that, especially at our nature. We just yearn for connection. But, my brand and my whole messaging and reason why I do things is because I believe that visibility can make a difference.
That's right.
I don't believe in visibility for the sake of visibility, because then you're just a Kardashian, right? But
no comment.
Visibility for a reason is like what's going to change the world. But I also, besides having that yearning for connection, which
Right.
people didn't have, I feel like everybody has a message, and now social media gives them a platform to be
That's
more
right.
self-expressive.
That's right.
So now they can post what they feel, and they can tweet it, and they can make a video or jump on a live stream. And before, what are you going to do? Just be stuck in your room and write notes on your paper and, you know.
Social media has changed the world. I mean,
Yeah.
we have seen, and we'll just go back to it, you know, the gentleman that was pulled off the airplane a couple weeks ago, okay?
Right.
If that would have happened 20 years ago,
Nobody would know.
no one would have known.
Mm-hmm. Which
No one would have
not
known.
to get all crazy political, but the government frowns on it because
Governments
don't just
do
take their
frown
word
on
for it.
Yeah, government frowns on it. Some governments.
And companies.
Right. We literally had an election, whether you liked it or not. But the gentleman who won used social media.
It was brilliant.
You know,
Brilliant
so
campaign, yeah.
yeah. So, and that's only. And the way politics works, it's like, oh, look what they did on this one. That means we're going to do it on this one. And it's just going to ramp up to where social media is, and we wanted to talk about going back to where, you know, what's different from 40 years ago. Here's the social media, if you wipe away the frosting off the cake, is just a way to distribute a message.
Okay.
Just like a billboard, just like a blimp. It's just a way to literally get in, you know, Danielle Ford has this sphere around her. She guards, you know, who comes close, who doesn't. Social media can get into Danielle Ford's phone faster than any commercial, billboard, anything. All they have to do is find out, and Danielle's an expert at this, what does Danielle like? Well, Danielle's an advocate on young mothers.
Right.
Wow, all I'm going to do is I'm going to punch this in, and I know the chances are Danielle Ford's going to see my message.
Exactly.
And that's what I think the world is, whether good or bad, is going to. And you talk about Big Brother. I don't know, you know, Danielle Ford's a young lady. I don't know if she ever read 1984, but at the same time, it's coming true.
Yeah, it's all,
you know,
all of it is totally, it's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that our phones are being tapped, and it was all
you know,
laid
the
out for us.
advertisers know exactly what Danny Vegas likes.
Yeah.
They know what Danielle Ford likes. They know, you know, it's so, and they literally, you know, things pop up on my computer like, wow, how'd they know? You know, I shop at Smith's. How come I got a coupon for cat food? Because you bought cat food 2 weeks ago.
How come I just Googled what's the best cat food, and now I'm on Facebook and there's an ad for cat food?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just got pinged, or now I'm playing my game, an app, and all of a sudden it's giving me a coupon for cat food.
So I would think, you know, if you are a person who, you know, and some of us are more into it than others, you know, privacy, and I think that's going away. I think it's just slowly but surely going away. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, I could literally click my phone and it shows me where I'm at.
And it shows everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ding, Danielle Ford is 2 miles away from you. Really? What is she doing on this side of town?
Right.
You know, so very interesting. So I know we kind of got off topic a little bit, Danielle, but it's great. But advertising, marketing, it's the same as the one thing that has stayed the same is you have to get people to see your brand, like your brand, feel comfortable with your brand, and that's the whole genre now. Is not only do I have to get Danielle Ford to see my brand, but I have to build a relationship with Danielle. I have to like her stuff. I have to build a rapport with her. I want her to get information about what we're doing because that's what social media is. At the end of the day, it's still social.
Right. Absolutely. A lot of brands and bigger companies forget that.
That's right. They just forget that. You just scroll through your feed and there's Staples. Okay, who cares?
Buy our stapler. Buy our printer.
Right. Yeah. Social, like anything, social media is a science. It's so easy to describe. And it's just a place where human beings interchange being human. But it's a science of how to make it work right.
Absolutely. And it's different for whatever brand you have, whatever messaging you have. And it really is like trial and error.
That's right. And, I always say if you have the ready means available, certainly social media managers are great. They all have different styles. They all have different. Some are more content queens. I need that content. Some are more reaction, engagement queens. They got to have the engagement. Some are more analytical.
Yeah.
You got to find the one that you like. And make sure you work together well because they have different ideas. Some are just glorified posters for hey, give me a case of beer, I'll post for you.
Right.
That's something you can do yourself. But the main idea is social media is a distribution network that you can use to build relationships, create a relationship, and give people who want your information the great new content that's out there.
I love it. This is so just, we could talk about this all day long.
I know.
But times are running out. So I want to make sure people know where they can connect with you and reach you online.
Well, Danny Vegas is a marketing platform, which includes WCOBM. So World Center of Broadcast Media, that's where we create all this great content that we are related to social media, where social media meets TV. Yep. You can take that content and distribute it the way you want. Danielle Ford is an expert at that. We do it here at WCOBM. So that's where you can pretty much find me nowadays. World Center of Broadcast Media, and Danny at WCOBM.tv is my email address.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys, like he said, he is the what do you call it? Producer, content curator.
I am the operations guy for WCOBM here in Las Vegas, and I create great content so that you can distribute that great content to the world.
And he walks his talk because this is the future of television and broadcasting. Being able to come into a studio, film a show, have viewership, and not have to get past the gatekeepers. So if you guys are interested in having a show like this, hit me up or hit Danny up, and we can talk about how to get you more visibility so you can make a difference and start spreading your message. This has been another episode of Leading Las Vegas. My wonderful guest here is Danny Vegas. I'm also Danny Vegas, but I guess I'll stick with Danielle Ford.
You can be Danielle Vegas.
Danielle Vegas. Okay, I'll go with
and then
that.
people are going to think we're married.
That's just creepy.
Is that creepy?
That might make it to the cutting room floor. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you loved this episode of Leading Las Vegas, please give it a thumbs up. Share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. You can also watch more episodes like this here or on leadinglasvegas.com.